when it comes to gift of legacy. They're like, oh, I can't. And they were like, we just did what Adele told us to do, verbatim. And now they've got their first, second, third invitees. So without further ado, I'm just going to welcome our beautiful Adele. And Adele, I'm ready to go fishing.
How awesome. Mel, you're going to come fishing with me. Bux, I'm so glad you're here because Bux has been fishing already. I'm going to mention you in the call, so be prepared. Yeah, what a wonderful, wonderful week. So I'm going to jump straight in. Before I even share screen, I just want to point my background to you. I haven't got the sea or the island, but I've got my Ferris wheel. I don't know if you can see it. It's my beautiful Ferris wheel over here that somebody gave me, someone very dear gave to me. And there's a lighthouse because that reminds me that while I'm fishing and while I was thinking about GL, it reminded me that GL has been that lighthouse to me. It's given me that ray of hope. And if we can all work together and we can be that ray of light for other people, then we really are going to fulfill the principles of GL. So let's go fishing. Let's get to the sea, and I'm going to share screen right now. Here we go. Just want to get it back to the beginning. Can you see it?
Almost. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. I just want to get it back to the beginning. It's just taking a moment. So last week we did fishing with friends, and I was so excited. I've already been fishing with friends this week. So many people have communicated with me and reached out to me. My phone was buzzing from the minute the call ended last week. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for the messages. Thank you so much for your love, for your time. Thank you for just being there with me and acknowledging the time that we spent together last week. And it's really very exciting that we can share more training with you and more inspiration that you can use with your teams. So today we're going to talk more about making your circle bigger, and we're going to focus on fishing with friends because that's what we are. We're a community, and a community is made up of friends. Before we get started, I know lots of people have seen the infographics and the posts about social media, and it's really important to know that we do not permit the promotion of gift of legacy on social media. It's absolutely not permitted at all. We have to invite people personally. It's essential that we protect the integrity and the security of our beautiful community by not using the word. And it's not because it's a secret. It's just because of security. We saw what happened in the past 5 months when we were inundated with spammers and scammers. And it's really important we get like-hearted, like-minded people. So we're not going to mention the word gift of legacy on social media, but we can use it. And we really want you to share this with your teams because lots of people are still housebound. Lots of people still have reasons not to mix with people in person meetings. So let's use social media, but let's use it wisely in terms of our T's and C's. Just a reminder that the gift of legacy name and logo is registered and trademarked, and therefore copyright is in place. And you are not allowed to use the gift of legacy logo or name in any attempt to promote any content, to build teams, to offer discounts or management permissions. If it has not been authorized by our amazing core leaders, then you are going to stand in line for legal action, and we really don't want that. So let's just all work in alignment with each other, and we can have a wonderful time, and we can use social media. We live in a digital world. Our online world is with us forever, but we must use it carefully and with discernment. So just to recap, in case you weren't around last week, we're going to quickly just look at the things we looked at last week. And I've really felt this. I've seen a net going out, catching hearts across the GL community this week. And to each one of you, mwah, thank you so much for reaching out to me and sharing your stories. I've been stalking you all. I've been watching WhatsApp statuses and social media, and I am just blown away. I'm blown away how people have done the simple things that they were asked to do. The first thing was to use attraction marketing. Attraction marketing means that you are drawing people into you without using the name of the brand or the product or telling them what it's about. It's just tickling their fancy, their interest, letting them know what you're doing and letting them come to you and ask for more information. We spoke about the power of your status, and your status on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram specifically. And I went quite in depth into WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp a lot in South Africa. I know in other countries you don't maybe use it as much, but you can then use the same principles on Facebook and Instagram. In fact, I'm hoping tonight that we will hear a story that I've heard about somebody who used Facebook and was really blown away with the response that they got. And then we spoke about the power of your story. You know, the testimonials group on Telegram is there, and people share the most amazing stories. Granny Sylvia shared one this week, and it just fits in with fishing because she lives at the coast now. She just walks down the road and takes a turn, and she's right there on the beach. And it's all because of GL. Her story, her video was so powerful. But if I try to tell that story, it's not as inspiring. So go and watch it. Go and see her story. And in the same way, it's important that when you share things on social media, it must be relevant to you. And right now, I'm a really proud daughter. I'm going to give a big shout out to my dad. My dad's been doing this training with me since last year, and he was doing what I asked him to do. But last week, he really got it. Remember when I said, choose pictures that are relevant to you, that are authentic to you? Well, Dad, you have been amazing. I've been watching everyone's statuses. You have nailed it on the head. I am blown away by the stories and the images you've shared. My dad loves anything about space. He's a philatelist. He loves chocolate. He loves ice cream. He likes playing Scrabble. He loves going walking. He loves the mountains. He has found pictures and images with all of those that are inspiring. And that's what we need to be doing. I've heard of a group of ladies down in KZN that Melissa knows, and I've heard that you're doing the same. And I'm so excited to see what you've been doing. I'll speak about some of the other people who I've interacted with during the week. But wow, what a week of catching hearts in this huge big net. We're not even using fishing rods anymore, folks. We're using nets to catch people. It's amazing. So I'm a big one to say, yes, you've got to walk the talk. You can't just tell people something. You've got to walk the talk. And if you remember last week, I shared this really beautiful image that I love. It represents me. It represents my goals. And I'm so jealous of Tim and his wife, Monica, because they're living this life. But I told you that I love VW Beetles, and I shared it. And I'm going to show you through a series of screenshots how I fished using the ADA principles. Now, if you don't know what the ADA principles are, it's a training that Chris and Candace did way back at the beginning of launch, where it shows us how we can approach people, how you can get going in Gift of Legacy. And what you've got to do is create attention, get interest, desire, and action. I'm actually not really clever. All I'm doing is replicating what they're doing, but I'm very good at duplicating. That's something that Jenny has always said to me, that I'm so good at duplicating. Maybe it's because I'm too scared to do anything wrong. If somebody tells me it's working and I know that that person is doing well, I will duplicate. Gift of Legacy is so simple. It's such a simple process. It's such a simple system. All you've got to do is duplicate. Don't replicate. Don't change it. Don't try and find a quick, better way. Don't try and change things. Do the simple steps that we've been trained, that have been put in place, and it will all work. It's no use trying to go fishing and using all kinds of funny tackle and fishing nets and things that you aren't used to. Do what the fisherman is telling you to do. So what did I do? I used the ADA principles. I put out my picture. It created attention. I share my messages at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 6:30 every morning. So on Thursday morning, I put out this post, and someone responded. Now she's a colleague, an acquaintance. I'm a therapist. She's a teacher. We actually don't even know each other. And she's friends with me on, she has my number on Facebook. So she saw it, she responded, and she said, "Love this, I'm stealing it." So I said, well, with pleasure. I found it in 2020, and I've already found something that allows me to work towards it. And there's my Ferris wheel emoji. So straight away, I knew she was interested, and I was going to start a conversation. She then shared it on her status, and I was waiting for that. As she shared it, I said, I can show you how I'm working towards this. And I got the desired reaction. Okay, I'm all ears. Just got to go to school. I'm a teacher, so I probably won't see your message till later. You see, we're acquaintances, but we don't actually know each other, right? I said, have a great day at school. Watch these later. And there's the 3 videos. I've got the attention. I've got interest. Now I'm going to send her the 3 videos to create desire. Just getting on to the next slide. Rochelle was really interested and was quite keen to see what was happening. Let me just see why I'm not going on to the next slide. We can't freeze there. Any idea, ladies, why it's not moving? I'm going to just stop sharing. And I'm going to try it again. Sorry about that, folks. But it's live and you never know what's going to happen next.
Technology.
It is. It is. Can you see?
Still on the same slide.
I don't know why it's freezing. Maybe it really wants to hammer this point home to you. It's just not going through.
What about going out and going into the next slide before you share again?
I can do that. I'm so sorry about this, folks. I'm a little bit stumped now.
Can you get to the next slide?
Letting me. Oh, there we go. Oh, now it's gone too far. Oh, stop.
You'll get there. As long as it's moving, you'll get there.
Okay, we're going back. Okay, there we go. So there we were.
No, we can't see. You need to share it with us.
Are you not seeing a screen share?
No, nothing.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, everybody. Okay, here we go.
Now I can see your screen, so you'll have it soon. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, let's hope that it's going to participate with me now. Okay, we are there. Are you seeing it? So there we go. So I said to her, please check out the videos. She said, thanks, I will check them out. That was Friday. On Monday morning, I said to her, hi, Rochelle, I hope you've had a good weekend. What did you find interesting in the videos? Remember, that was a critical thing. You don't ask a person, what did you think? You asked them, what did you find interesting? She came back with a lovely long voice note, and she had questions which I answered. She wanted to know, have you made money? And I've said yes, I was able to answer that. She was a bit nervous about the Zoom call. So I said to her, don't worry, you don't have to engage. You can just watch, you don't have to chat. And they're just for information sharing. And she said, what time was it? And can I send the link? So she said, yes, please send it. And last night I sent her the link for Tim and Chris's wonderful presentation that they did. She still checked with me and she said, do I just click on this link? And I said, yes, that's all you need to do. And she said, great, I'll be there. When I logged onto the Zoom, first thing I did is went to participants to check that she was there. I saw that she was, and I welcomed her. You see, it's no good inviting somebody to a Zoom call and not being there, especially if you've seen that they're really, really interested. You've got to be there to welcome them, to be there with them. It's no use saying, hey, let's go down to the beach and fish. I'll see you there. And the poor person is left standing on the rocks on their own in the cold. So you've got to be there. So I made sure that I was there. And then during the presentation, Tim said something. Now, in my chat with her, I'd said to her that Tim is living the life of that VW Beetle. So here I go in the comments and I said, Tim is living my dream. He has a life he doesn't need a vacation from. So now I've validated Tim. I've brought it back to the picture, the reason she's here in the first place, and she saw the comment. Now, when the Zoom call ended, we hadn't even finished yet. Chris was still talking about the aces and the cards. She was already messaging me and saying, okay, what's the next step? I didn't answer. I waited for the next message. How do I register? Can I progress to silver, even if I still only have invited 2 people? And I waited a few minutes and then I phoned her. You see, when you are sealing a deal, this is something Jenny told me. When you are sealing a deal, whether you're selling products or you're just selling an idea, a concept to a person, when you are getting them interested, when they're at that point where they're interested, the person who talks first wins. And if I had won first, I might have won, but I might have lost her. So I waited. When she said, how do I register? Then I phoned her. We had a half-an-hour conversation, and Rochelle will be joining. She's just waiting for some funds to clear in her account. So there we go. That's the whole of last week in action. I've walked the talk, and I've really been working very hard at fishing, which is why I've kept my fishing hat on all week. What did I do? I went to my status and I put a status and she shared it, so I commented. I then shared the 3 short videos with her and I asked her what was interesting. Invited her to a Zoom. Then when I was on the Zoom, I welcomed her and I made a comment that would be relevant to her, but also interesting to other people on the chat. And I waited for her response and followed it up with a phone call. And we've had great interactions today. She's so excited, and all because of one picture. I was talking gift of legacy, but I never said gift of legacy. And that's what we need to be doing. So some people have asked me this week, I know I got some questions from Bucks from his team saying people were still not sure how to share their picture on WhatsApp. And how to put it on their status. So I'm sorry if I didn't explain that. I'm just going back to it. The picture in the top left corner I found just before launch. I really liked it because it talks about legacy. All good men and women must take responsibility to create legacies that will take the next generation to a level we could only imagine. Now, those of us who are networkers know that Jim Rohn is a networker and he's got great quotes. But even to someone who's never done anything online, who's never done any kind of MLM or networking or anything, it's a wonderful quote. Because don't you want the next generation to go to a better place? So you find your picture, you download it on your phone. Then you go and you find your picture in your gallery. This is the easiest way to do it. You find your picture in the gallery, and then you press share, and you go to WhatsApp, and you go to my status, and you share it there. And that's how it becomes one of your statuses. It would be the same on Facebook or any of your other platforms. So find your picture in your gallery and then share it to whatever platform you want to share it to. Now, if you remember last week, we had the lady with the Ferris wheel. When I go to my status, I can go and see how many people have viewed my status. This is a really important part. You need to click on that eye and take screenshots of all the people whose names will come up there. You then take those names and put them on a broadcast list, and then you can send messages. And that's all in last week's training. I'm not going to go over it. But here's something important, and this picture just screams gift of legacy again to me. He who masters the power formed by a group of people working together has within his grasp one of the greatest powers known to man. He who masters the power of using his status in a group of people working together has within his grasp one of the greatest powers known to the GL community. Seriously, folks, you don't have to have excuses or fears. You've got your phone, you've got your computer, you've got different platforms. You can reach out to people. And when you're comfortable doing this, then you can branch out to speak to people. And I'm not saying don't speak to people. I actually had a dad of one of my clients come and meet me today here in my practice, and we sat for an hour and I explained gift of legacy to him. So I do in person, but I use my social media. And if you are fearful and you're not sure, do it on social media. And remember, a no means next opportunity. So I would like to know at this point how your fishing went. How did your fishing go this last week? And Mil, maybe we can ask 3 or 4 people to quickly share how their fishing went this last week. And Bux, if I can put you on the spot.
Bux is not on the call. He's left because his internet's not stable.
Oh dear. Is there anyone from Bux's team that is on the call? Is there anybody here? Okay, maybe you can let us know in the chat. But Mil, I know that you've got an amazing story. Don't you want to share your story?
So I have an amazing story, and it's not my own story. It's one of my invitees. She came in as an invitee just over a month ago, and the board took quite a long time to move. Anyway, she's now a builder, so now she's realized that she needs to take responsibility for bringing in her 2 invitees. So she started watching the training. Now, 2 things have happened. One is that she's become very excited about the community and has realized it's not just about the gift. The actual community and the spirit in the community and everything we do is a huge part of the gift, and it's not just the monetary value. The other thing that she did is she started sharing WhatsApp statuses. But to her absolute amazement, nobody looked at them. So she didn't have any views. So she said, well, maybe my people don't look at that. So she decided today that she would try something else. This morning, she tried to put out a Facebook status, and she put out a lovely picture that says, I've got it in front of me. It says, and suddenly you know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of new beginnings. So she put that out, and I just want to go to, and I wanted to see what else she said. She just had one line at the top, and she said, reinvent yourself every day with some hearts and some stars. And what happened was somebody reached out to her and said, well, what's the new beginning? And she said, well, there were a couple of new beginnings. She's starting her life alignment practice, and I'm one of the teachers in life alignment, so that's how I know her. And she started this new opportunity. She didn't want to say too much. And she said, but I think you'll absolutely love it. It's this amazing community, and it suits me. It's going to suit you too. Brilliant. So the friend said, well, can you share more? And straight away, I got a message saying, what do I do now? What next? What must I share? Anyway, we had a call, and I told her what to share, and now I'm waiting for the next installment. She couldn't be on the call tonight, but she watched last week's call twice. And she was full of such useful information. And it's taken away that fear of having to speak to people, because now she didn't speak to anybody. And there's her first bite. So the fishing has given her the first bite.
I'm thrilled. That story is just, it's amazing. And once you know how to do it on one platform, you can apply it to others. And I'm so thrilled to hear that story. I was really hoping, Shane, that Books would be here. But is there anybody else? Please just raise your hand, either do it like this on your video, or just put it up and let us know what you feel. Anybody want to share?
And also Melissa's lost power too. So she's also not on the call anymore. So everyone's having some challenges tonight.
Oh my goodness. I wonder if that's affecting recording. I saw somebody said, are we recording? Well, I hope we are. Otherwise, we'll just do this again.
No, we're not recording because Melissa was recording. So the recording is gone unless you want to start recording again.
We can try.
Well, let's see if I can, perhaps. But let's see if I can record. I'll see if I can.
I'll record. I can record.
Oh,
you've got it. There we go. You've got it.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll just have to wing it and we'll take it from there. So I'm going to just share with you what Bix and his team did. On Thursday morning, Bix messaged me and he said that a lot of the people in Afrikaans community who are on a Telegram group or WhatsApp group had got together and they were talking about the training. They were really inspired about fishing. And what they decided to do, and they've been doing every day, is they share 1 or 2 images, pictures that they like, and then they take a vote on it, and everyone decides on one image. And then their whole team, and it's like 350 people, they are all sharing the same image at round about the same time. So suddenly social media is getting flooded by the same kinds of posts. And I didn't know this before lockdown, but social media also works on algorithms. So the more of similar kinds of pictures that are being posted, the more attention is drawn to those kinds of things. So if you're putting things on Facebook and lots of people are liking it and commenting or putting similar pictures, you're going to see more of those kinds of things. So yeah, heads up to the team who are sharing up. I've picked up at least 5 of them watching through my WhatsApp statuses. And it's amazing. It's Ferris wheels and it's sunsets and it's the most beautiful pictures. So thank you to everybody who's fishing. I don't think anyone else is ready to share. Mel, can I carry on?
Rebecca's just said she was highly inspired this last week, but she had all kinds of excuses why it wasn't the right week for getting started. So, you know, it takes really, I've been consistent. I've always done WhatsApp statuses, but not consistently. And this week I've been consistent. And even if it's only 3 pictures, today I even have an advertising post for my next nutrition group in amongst it. But I'm making sure that every single day, because the more you put out there, the more people are going to see. So
and they start missing it. They start missing it if they don't see it. So then they'll comment on that as well. So Rebecca, no excuses this week, okay?
Okay, Nadine has her hand up.
Okay, Nadine.
Do we need to unmute Nadine? Nadine, can you unmute?
There we go.
There we go.
Good evening, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, Nadine.
I am speaking on behalf of the Afrikaans group, and I'm very hesitant to do so because I have no authority at all. So I'm just stepping in because Bix isn't here, just to give you guys an update.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I do the translations for the Afrikaans group, for the Zooms, the things that go out, things that I think mostly come from you, Adele. I try to translate for the Afrikaans people. And Bix contacted me Friday evening and said, please translate Adele's training. And I asked him a question or 2 and he ignored me the entire weekend because he was busy. And on Monday morning, he got back to me, answered my question. I did not the best work in the world, because translating the entire thing in a day's time, and then of course 6 hours in, I lost the file and I had to start all over again. It was a
Oh,
mess.
no.
It was a mess. But we had the training on the changing of the statuses on Tuesday morning last week, especially for the Afrikaans group. And we then decided that it would be in competition form. We would post statuses every evening starting at 8 o'clock. Votes would be tallied at about 9 o'clock, 9:30 the next morning. 10 o'clock, the winner would be announced, and that on 10 o'clock, round about 10 o'clock, everybody changes their statuses to the same picture with the same caption that is gift of legacy, relevant gift of legacy, hinting gift of legacy, pushing, but never gift of legacy, just as you
Beautiful.
explained. And then we had feedback in the Telegram group later on in the day. I've had this many views on my status, that many views. And the thing that we've picked up on is that consistency, as you mentioned, is a definite ideal way to do this.
Yes.
People had 12 views the first day, 26 the second, 37 the sixth, the sixth day. Oh my goodness, I wonder which day of the week that might be. The next day, and we could really see that we are. Today was day 3 because we started on no.
We started on
pretty
Thursday.
confused.
You started on Thursday, yeah.
We started on Thursday, and
Yes.
we have been doing this absolutely like clockwork.
It's beautiful.
And views increased, and people have started posting in the group that I've got my first inquiry. I've got my first person who contacted me. I'm sorry that I cannot give you specific numbers like Books could have done, but I thought I would just step in here and tell you what I do know. And the competition for tomorrow's status is on. It's 8 o'clock is gone. So start getting them in, and it's very democratic. You get as many votes as you like, and the person with the most votes, there we go. That's
I love it.
I haven't won yet, but by golly, I will.
Lovely. We've got a fishing competition going. I love it. It's amazing. And yeah, I want to join your team.
Maybe I'll win on Sex Day, whenever that is. Thank you, ladies, for sharing.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you so much. It's just wonderful how people are working together. I was contacted yesterday by Prof. Rafael. He's from the Spanish community somewhere, I'm not sure where, somewhere in South America, I think. And he said to me that he was going to be translating the presentation from last week and sharing it with their community. And they also are sharing statuses. They have videos. I'm watching his status, and there's videos. I don't understand them, but the images are awesome. So it's really creating a lot of positivity and fun. Gift of Legacy is fun. That's what the card game was about last night with Tim and Chris. Let's have fun doing Gift of Legacy. It really is awesome, and that's how people connect with us. So let's go and let's learn about fishing with friends. Let's get into it. I'm just going to share again. Maybe if you can just make sure everyone's muted, Mel. Thanks. Okay, you can all see.
So how did the fishing go?
Yeah, how did fishing go? Now we need to get on to the next one. We really are having techno challenges today, but it's not going to stop us. I cannot believe it's doing this to us.
I think you have to go out again and go into the next slide.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just go to the next slide.
While you're doing that, Tony's saying he's sharing the pics that you post to the GL Innovation WhatsApp groups. And
awesome.
So you're inspiring there.
Oh, that's great.
And then somebody's asking, how does
Yeah.
one get onto the Afrikaans group?
I'm sure we can share a link tomorrow. We can get Bucks to send it to me and I'll just share the link onto the groups. For those of you who don't know, folks, Mil and I are part of the admin team, and we are monitoring the groups and we share the posts. So with the other members who are admin, we will make sure that you get that link. We'll make sure it goes out. Okay, are we seeing the slide?
Going fishing with friends.
Okay, so going fishing on your own phone and getting likes and loves and comments is wonderful, and you can do it from your couch. And when you go fishing with friends at the beach, at the river, there's a group of you fishing together, and we can do the same, fishing on our phones. And that's just what this picture is all about. Even if you're not in the same room, if you're not in the same place, you can fish with your friends, and I want to give you some ideas. So how are we going to go fishing for friends? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to share the same statuses or the same kinds of statuses. That's what I call fishing with friends. And Bucks and the Afrikaans community jumped ahead of the gun, and they were already telling me about it on Thursday. So you really flood social media. You put out the same kinds of posts. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if the inspirational messages that we share on the groups, everybody would just copy and paste and share it to their statuses? It really is so easy. It just takes a little bit of time and you can get it out, and we all have the same information going out. Then it's important to watch people's statuses and to comment on their statuses. Remember, watch theirs and comment. As soon as I saw that Rochelle was sharing my image, I commented, and then I had her hooked. So that's really important. And comment on other people's posts on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever, because that's going to influence that algorithm. And we always say we can't influence the algorithm. We can influence an algorithm. So an algorithm, sorry, Mel, so that we can definitely do that by making sure we comment. And then you need to find good fishing spots. So here in Johannesburg, it's a bit difficult. We don't have very many dams and rivers around, but it's very important that you find a good fishing spot. And for tonight, we're going to look at statuses on WhatsApp, on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook posts, and then Telegram groups. And no, I'm not talking about cross-recruiting, but there's a way you can use Telegram as well, because I know that lots of people, especially in America and overseas, prefer to use Telegram. So we're going to look at that as well. So here's a beautiful post. Mil shared it with me today. I've been getting lots of elephants and butterflies in personal messages this week because I mentioned it last week. So thank you. Mil, this is just such a beautiful post. The next evolutionary step for humankind is to move from human to kind. And my favorite hashtag in lockdown has been hashtag be kind. So it really speaks to me. It's so beautiful. I shared it on my Facebook, just on my normal news feed. I shared it, and within 5 minutes, I already had 7 people posting likes or loves, and I had 2 comments. I was preparing the presentation, so I didn't have time to wait. I'm sure there's a lot more by this evening. But then something else happened. I didn't just post it on my Facebook. I'm on some other people's Facebook groups, and I actually follow, there's a guy in South Africa. He's a blogger, he's a motivational speaker, and he has an incredible Facebook page. And he put a post out today about being kind, and it caught my eye because it had all rainbow colors and was very gift of legacy. And he was just talking about, lots of people going through tough times, be kind. So I shared this picture and I said, hashtag be kind is the hashtag I use most. It's so true. We all need a little kindness. So I'm sharing a post my friend sent me. I love elephants, and this is so beautiful. And a lady responded and she said, gee, Adele, how beautiful. I can then connect with her. I'm not doing anything dodgy or anything untoward. I haven't commented to her yet, but it's just another way of using Facebook. And that's fishing with friends. Now, let's start with Telegram groups. When you're thinking about Telegram groups, you sometimes have to look at things from a different angle, like the cute little owl in the top corner. So I've joined some Telegram groups. I joined them last year. Jenny and I are on them together, and Mel has now joined with me as well. The other day on the one Telegram group I'm on, it's a network marketing kind of business group. I'm not going to give you the name of it because I don't want all of us on the same group. But you can go onto Telegram and search networking groups, online groups, and find some that are in your community. I posted that picture of a Ferris wheel, and I said my biggest motivation. This is a bit of a networking group that I'm posting in. And in networking, we talk a lot about your why. So that's the angle I was going at. I didn't put the words on that picture, they were there. And I said, I found something that is not MLM. It's not networking, but it is decentralized, peer-to-peer. I've received more dollars this year from it than any other platform during lockdown. Ask me how. And Jenny saw it, and then she commented on it, and she said, this sounds like it could be up my alley. I would love to find out more. Peer-to-peer systems give direct benefit and everyone wins. Is there a Zoom call I could join? So she's actually giving more information. She's edifying me, which means she's giving me credit, and she's saying, wow, that's a great idea. She's asking for a Zoom call. No one's responded to it yet, but they might respond and say, hey, I also want to go on that Zoom call. So you see, I'm not talking gift of legacy, but I'm speaking gift of legacy. I'm saying gift of legacy stuff, but I'm not using the words gift of legacy at all. Here's another one. I put this picture out of a piggy bank with lots of hands putting coins in. And I said, do you believe in the principles of Ubuntu? Find out how a decentralized peer-to-peer system can benefit you and others. Zoom call tonight at 8 p.m. Message me for the link. And Jenny responded, oh, wow, decentralized sounds great. Definitely safer this way. Please PM me the Zoom call link. And then Mel saw it and she said, yes, how exciting. I see I missed the call last night. This was today. I missed the call last night. Will there be another call soon? And I said, yes, I'll send you a message. People understand Ubuntu just on its own. They might not have responded now. Some people take a few days to look through Telegram groups. So I might still get hits, but it's another way of reaching out on social media. I'm saying gift of legacy without saying gift of legacy. And Ubuntu is such a beautiful thing. It's the belief that we are all defined by our compassion and our humanity towards others. And then your WhatsApp status. Folks, there are so many amazing, amazing posts. I was just thinking of Granny Sylvia. I love it, but I know you're on the call, Granny Sylvia. You're amazing. And you just, I see you down at the coast, skiing through the water. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Start a new career at 40, fall in love at 50, learn to dance at 60, start a whole new life at 70. Stop saying you can't. You can and you should. Dreams don't have an expiration. And then you're never too old and it's not too late. And then there's some other beautiful ones there about comfort zone. And I had to download that one because it's got the heart symbol that we all like using on Zoom call. There again, that's something that's GL, but it's not saying GL, right? There's beautiful ones. We've made an infographic about the Ferris wheel and the spectacles, and it says, change your perspectacles. But I just put the picture out without any words. Anything about kindness, anything about gratitude and abundance. And look at the one in the bottom right-hand corner. What if I told you, you read the top line wrong? Because the top line actually says, what I if told you. I love that as a therapist because that's visual perception. But something like that will attract people's attention on WhatsApp status. Remember to use your WhatsApp status. Now, we're going fishing. And let's be real, we're catching hearts, we're catching like-hearted, like-minded people. but we also want to be catching the dollars. We are here because we all have our own needs. We all need our own rescue plan, our own oxygen masks, and we all need to reach out there to people and fish together so that we can get our own pockets filled and that we can bless others and help our families. But there's a warning sign. Beware of the sharks. It's really important when you are on social media to always check your privacy settings. It's so important that you check your privacy settings, especially on Telegram, because that's how lots of people are getting messages from spammers and scammers. You've got to go and check your settings and make it private, that only people who have your contacts can add you to groups. You don't want people adding you to random groups. Beware of scammers, and this is really important. Gift of Legacy leaders and support will not send Telegram messages, especially telling you that they need your help to fill a board. The craziest thing happened last week while I was busy presenting. Somebody who was watching the call, watching me speaking, was being messaged on Telegram by me, and I was asking them to please quickly send me money so I can help fill up a board. That was not me. What people are doing on Telegram is they are cloning the accounts or the profiles of some of the leadership, some of the very visible people in the community. I'm one of them. And they have cloned our Telegram account. So you will see my picture, you will see my name, but you will not see my telephone number. If it's really me, you will see my telephone number, it is visible, okay? If you don't see that, it's not me. And I can promise you, it will never be me messaging you on Telegram or WhatsApp or Facebook, asking you anything about GL, because support and admin will always use email. We will not contact you about your boards or a random board without you being on the same board as us. I might land on the same board as some of you and contact you, but I am never going to do anything like that. I've said at the beginning of the presentation, Gift of Legacy is a simple system. All you've got to do is follow the steps. Does that sound like somebody who's now going to try and change things and recruit you into something else? No, it's not me. So please beware of those sharks. And then the third one is really important. Don't cross recruit. Yes, we're all fishing in the same pond. Yes, we're going to all try and share statuses and make comments on Telegram groups and comment on people's statuses and their posts on Facebook. But don't try and lure other people's fish into your team. Don't try and do things where you are creating your own system within Gift of Legacy and you are trying to pull people from the Gift of Legacy community into your own. There's enough fish in the sea. Go out there, find your own fish. We can all use these principles, but please don't cross recruit. Somebody has really put time and effort and energy into somebody else, just like I have into connecting with Rochelle and speaking to her. Please don't go and find other people's fish. Use these principles and find your own fish, and we can all have a wonderful time fishing out there. So that's the end of my presentation of Fishing with Friends. I am absolutely blown away by our community and how people are now creating competitions and are reaching out of their comfort zones. It's so important that we all understand that we can all do fishing. I love fishing. If you give somebody a fish and you feed them, you will feed them for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. And we can always be those kinds of people who are helping other people and giving them their invitees, but they're never going to come to the party and find their own. They're never going to build. They're going to become stuck. You know, we always hear the boards are stuck. The boards aren't stuck. It's the mindset that are stuck. And it's because people are being given fish. Don't give fish. Teach them to fish. Teach your teams to fish. Work with your teams. fish with them, and we can all fill our boards, and we can be that magnet that we spoke about last week, drawing people in. So that's the end of the presentation. We have got 10 minutes, and we're going to open up for any questions that
Adele,
anybody
just
has.
first of all, David has a question. I'm going to read it and then you can answer it. I mean,
Okay.
I know the answer, but I think it will work better that way. So David says, I would like to know, are we allowed to share the one screen from the presentation titled, Who's It For? It doesn't have the picture of the GL logo or name on it.
Which slide from the presentation?
David, do you want to unmute yourself? I don't see where
Where's David?
is. I'm looking for David. David, don't you want to put your hand up so we can see you?
There's David. I've got him.
Okay, do you want to unmute him?
Okay, there we go, David. Hi.
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 Yeah, you know the screen in the presentation where it talks about the title of the thing is who's it for? And it says, do you like to sow and reap? Do you like to give someone that you don't know? And those few questions on it. And I've often wondered, you know, I like that sort of as a introduction to share. Is that allowed to be shared?
You know what, it's part of an official presentation, and that presentation is trademarked. It's got the Gift of Legacy logo on. So it is trademarked and it falls under copyright laws. So rather don't take screenshots and share it. Rather take the words and type it out yourself and put it with your own kind of a picture, and you can use that. But don't take parts of the presentation and share it. That certainly is going against our copyright laws. Mel, do you agree?
Absolutely. And what I would say as well is that if you fished and someone's interested, you can then send them the presentation and they will see it. Because
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're doing with, you know, when you're sending out any of those presentations, you can send out, after the ones Adele showed, you can send out Tim's 20-minute presentation. That's a great one to go to next. If somebody's saying, well, I don't have time to get on the Zoom call, what else can I watch? The 20-minute one that Tim did is a great one. But
Okay.
yes, the statements are fine to use, Rebecca, absolutely. So you can use the statements, but just put them onto a different picture. Maybe
Yes.
your own graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe tell them, look at 8 minutes and 40 seconds or whatever. Then they know that's a specific slide you want them to look at.
But if you're wanting to put it on a status, then make something.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thanks,
you.
David.
Good.
Any other questions?
Are there any hands up? Having to scroll through everything.
Rebecca's
Oh,
got her
Rebecca.
hand up.
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi. So Adele, you shared earlier that Rochelle had asked you if you had received, and because you have, you were able to respond yes. How would you
Yes.
respond, however, if you haven't yet received?
That's a great question. And I was dealing with that this morning with that dad that I was chatting to. So I said to him, if you don't have a story yet, then you can use somebody else's story. So before I received gifts, I would say to people, I joined Gift of Legacy because my friend Jenny invited me, and I know her and I trust her. And I know that she's received gifts. And she was so excited when she received gifts that I couldn't wait to join and be part of the system as well. So you take somebody else's story and you make it part of your story. And if you are in a team or you know similar people, you can talk about them and you can say, well, I know that Bob joined last month and he's now received gifts and he's now able to pay his rent on time for the first time in lockdown. You start telling stories, and if you're really not sure, then share the link to the testimonials group, because those stories are they're heartfelt, unscripted, and amazing.
Absolutely.
Great.
I mean, this week I said to somebody who had actually joined, new gifter, I said, you have to go to the testimonial group and you have to look at Granny Sylvia. Because
Yeah.
Granny Sylvia's testimony when she walks down to the beach is just amazing for anyone to see. So people who are saying, well, I can't talk to people because nobody has enough money, they're too old, all those excuses, will go and watch that testimony and then share that with people.
Exactly.
There's plenty to share. Like people will say, oh, but nobody's gone through the $5,000 board. And we can definitely, Adele and I can definitely say we know multiple people who have received on the $5,000
Yes.
board. We personally know them. So it's not
Yeah.
something pie in the sky and we, saying, oh, maybe we've heard. No, we know for definite.
We've got 4 more minutes for questions. Quick, folks. We're doing a Q&A quickly here with you. Any other questions you might have? Yes, Tony, absolutely. Choose a testimonial that is most relevant to the person asking you the question. For sure.
Absolutely. And really, you've got, as Adele said, you've got a few minutes left, and we're not going to open the group tonight for questions. So ask us now.
Even if it's not about the presentation, if you have any other questions, support or admin related, and you would like to ask now, we can help you a little bit quickly.
Okay, Rebecca.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm just filled with questions today.
Great.
So now that things have changed in terms of when we can bring people onto our boards, what happens if we arrive in Legend and we need to sponsor 2 people in order to get our 2? How does that work now? They won't arrive on our board, but do we just give them 2 gifts so that we can continue and not get sidelined?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what you will do is other people are going to add gifters to your board or invite gifters to your board. You will be gifted. Your 2 invitees, if you are sponsoring them, they're going to use your invite link. They're going to land on the oldest board and you are going to gift on their behalf. So
Fantastic.
what's happening with the new system is that we're moving the older boards. And obviously it means that no scammers can get in. So it's very important. If of course you already have people, then what you can do is you can get, if you've got other people on the board, say you a builder as one of your downline, you can get the builder to invite the person and you can still sponsor them on. So
Great.
it really does encourage
That
people
clear.
to build teams now. Any other questions? All right, here we go. Steve is saying, I'm on my silver board and it keeps filling up under the algorithm since the weekend, but have had to remove 15 people already because no one is making contact and some of these are duplicated names with numbers. Okay, Steve, first of all, I mean, you can unmute. Can we find Steve and we can unmute Steve? Steve, are you reaching out to the people as well? Or are you just removing them?
Steve, can you put is it Steve Clatty?
Yes, yes.
Here we go. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. Okay, I've had some people landing on board, and they're having, every time I try and make contact with them, they don't actually reply or anything within a day or 2. So then I remove them, and then I get other people landing on with similar names with numbers, with the same names, but they got numbers behind, and it's like about 8 of them are the same person, but with something called Tony DJ.
Okay.
Tony again. Okay, we have heard that name, Tony. So when that happens, that's when you as a legend have the power. We've got an infographic that says the legend has the power. The legend has the power to remove somebody. And if you have a feeling that this person is not going to be engaged or is not going to participate, you can, within 6 hours, sometimes even immediately at your discretion, you could even remove them from the board. Because you're being filled, your board is being filled by the algorithm, new gifters will keep coming on. It's unfortunate that it's happening, but the algorithm will keep filling those spots. So you just keep doing what you need to do as the legend, and your gifters will come. But you are doing it absolutely correctly at this point in time.
Absolutely. It took me, just when I went through, and it's about 2 months ago when I went through my first silver board, it must have taken me, it took me a week, and I removed multiple people, and I did have one person who tried to scam me. So you've really got to be wide awake. The person wanted to send me a link to PayPal and said they couldn't gift in dollars unless I sent them a link. And of course, the alarm bells rang, and I said, sorry, I can't do that. And I actually did have a mentors call, and I said, I've got a GL mentors call, and he left straight away, he left the board. And he tried to scam several people. So just be very aware. And if it's like the same name and you know you've taken them off, then don't even give them 6 hours. Because if it's multiple people are the same, you have tried to reach out, it's the same person, just delete. And now the more you take them off, the longer they're not going to be able to join another board.
Okay. Absolutely. The time span for them to rejoin expands. Mel, I think we need to close before the recording doesn't work. But folks, thank you so much for being here, for fishing with us. Let's go out there this coming week and fish with our teams, pass on the information and the training, get people to be watching their board chats, engaging on board chats, ask people to watch the Telegram groups. We are opening at random times. Basically, when we've got time, we open the groups as admin to answer questions, and let's get people engaged and excited and having fun in Gift of Legacy. We can play cards, we can fish, we can have competitions, and we can communicate with each other. So let's do that. Let's have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for your time, Mel. Thanks for being here. Rebecca, thank you.
Save this before you start the recording, before you, okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Because if
Thanks,
I didn't,
Rebecca,
then it wasn't going to download.
Thank you, everybody, for being here and for putting up with the technical issues. But we really hope that it gives you more inspiration to go forward. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Night.
Good night. Good night.
Mm-hmm.